Binance is under attack again, but this time, is there any truth to it? That's exactly what we're going to be finding out in this video. Forbes recently published an article talking and comparing Binance to FTX in terms of some of the maneuvers that they have made. So essentially what they're implying here is that there's a risk with Binance, as they may or may not have done something similar to FTX. Now, we've been big sort of defenders, I guess, of CZ and Binance. And it's because I think CZ is a genuine guy. I don't think he's a net negative for the space. I think sexist centralized exchanges play a key role within the ecosystem, the cryptocurrency ecosystem. And people go, what do you mean? You know, you're supporting centralization. Well, how did you buy your cryptocurrency? Don't be a hypocrite. We live in a world of hypocrites, guys. And it's, you know, sickening. However, I'm all for decentralization. I think that if you're worried about Binance and you're worried about, for example, when BUSD and that news broke that the SEC were going after them, instantly made a video and said to people, here's what I'm doing. You make your own decisions up. We are moving out of BUSD and going to another stable coin for, if nothing else, convenience. Because I don't want to have to go and ask Paxos for my dollar back. I would rather, and CZ said himself, we're going to, you know, look to essentially stop trading it and you know, choosing another stablecoin over it, even though it's a Binance stablecoin that obviously Paxos owns. So I'm not against self-custody and safe practice. That's what I'm all about, right? However, I think a lot of the shit that's been thrown on Binance is unfair. And I can't help but be of the thinking that I'd much rather better the devil you know than the one you don't know. And the one you don't know will be institutional. If you look at who basically controls the stock market, not in terms necessarily of price, but in terms of facilitating it and so on and so forth, it's the institutions. They want to do the same thing with crypto. And CZ has a massive target on his back, not only for what happened with FTX, he's the biggest competitor out there. And there's a lot of people that are preying on his downfall. And I actually support the guy, take my hats off to him. I think he's an amazing entrepreneur, and I really want to see him succeed. But I want to just cover what's going on right now. Of course, over the past 24 hours, we know that Coinbase dropped troubled stablecoin Binance BUSD. And then essentially we had this Forbes article, which essentially is saying Binance's asset shuffling eerily similar to maneuvers by FTX. Oh no. And they're accusing Binance of essentially taking cryptocurrency that are supposed to back customers' reserves and gambling with them, or doing something that they've said that they weren't with them or shouldn't be doing with them. And this is what we're going to address, because CZ, as always, valiantly straight to Twitter, debuckling all this and actually saying, look, you guys don't even understand how exchange works and how all this works in terms of collateral, and you're way off the mark. Like I say, I think CZ is a genuine guy. They even go to, you know, mention the fact that he's Chinese, which, you know, he I'm pretty sure he's lived in Canada way longer than he's ever been in China. I'm pretty sure he migrated from China with his parents when he was young and spent the majority of time in China. Not that that's even relevant to anything, but it's really quite a hit piece that Forbes have wrote. I'm not going to show the full article, but I'll read the basic gist of it. So, when you're the world's largest crypto exchange in a largely unregulated market, it's easy to make up the rules as you go. I don't think CZ's done that. In fact, from what I've seen, they've tried to comply so that they can be an exchange with the jurisdictions that they want to operate in. So, in its latest backroom maneuver, Binance transfers $1.8 billion in stablecoin collateral to hedge funds, including Alameda and Cumberland DRW, leaving its other investors exposed. What are they talking about? This sounds alarming, right, that they're doing this? But is there a reason for it? Well, we're going to get into all that. Late last year, as crypto markets were struggling to regain their footing, the world's biggest crypto exchange quietly moved $1.8 billion of collateral meant to back its customers' stablecoins. Wow, that's interesting. Putting the assets to other undisclosed uses. They did this without informing their customers, according to blockchain data examined by Forbes. From August the 17th to early December, About the same time FTX was imploding, I mean, that's quite a wide time range there. Holders of more than $1 billion of crypto, known as Peg USDC, tokens were left with no collateral for instruments that Binance claimed would be 100% backed by whichever tokens they were pegged by. It goes on to say Peg USDC tokens are the replicas of USDT, a dollar-backed stablecoin. Talks about who the issuants are. So, is there any truth to this? Well, we'll take a look at it. Because CZ has came out and responded. So, has he been saying and promising backed funds and then taking what's supposed to be backing them and gambling with them? I guess that's the real thing in question here. I don't believe so, and we're going to look at his response. A real red flag for me would be if Binance's coin started to really sell off. I think Binance have a massive target on their back. So I still like Binance as an exchange. I still hold funds on Binance. However, I do practice self-custody with ledgers and other cold wallets. But they do have a big target on their back, and it could and this isn't FUD, does make me think, do you want to have to go through that FUD with Binance? And are they going to find something, even if it's small, that they can penalize them on that may cause disruption and delay? That's why we got out of BUSD, for example, because I just couldn't be bothered. Even though we didn't think the peg was going to fail, you got to remember, it's backed by a stablecoin. So the peg for the dollar that maintains the dollar peg is a dollar. People saying it's going to depeg, it's like, it might depeg as a trading pair against USDT or USDC or something, but not actually, it won't depeg from a dollar because it's backed by a dollar. It's more convenience we got out of that. So there is that question of, and I think you should practice self-custody if you can and you're familiar with it, and now's a better time than any to learn if FTX hasn't showed us that. But, ultimately, I'm not against Binance. I'm not really concerned. I think a lot of this is fun. There's a targeted effort to try and discredit CZ. So I'm reluctantly spending time on FUD. Again, this is his response. Forbes wrote another FUD article with lots of accusatory questions with a negative spin, intentionally misconstructing facts. They refer to some old blockchain transactions that our clients have done. So they call out Tron, Amber Group, Alameda Research, etc. They seem to not understand the basics of how an exchange works. Our users are free to withdraw their assets anytime they want. Their withdrawals are turned into received hundreds of millions of shifted collateral. So their withdrawals are turned into received hundreds of shifted collateral. Our users also must deposit to Binance first to be able to withdraw, which are also easily traceable on the blockchain. The article conveniently ignores the deposit transactions. The article tries hard to categorize Binance and FTX together, including the choice of the article title. We are different, very, very different what Binance do and how they operate to FTX. Binance has stood the test of time with users safely withdrawing billions of dollars in December. Yep, this was a real testimony to Binance. I was hanging out socially with crypto friends visiting Dubai every day that week, including, and he goes on to list a number of people. Then he goes to say, we implement proof of reserves using a zero-knowledge ZK approach suggested by Vitalik, protecting our users' security and privacy. Binance holds users' funds one-to-one always. So this is a reassurance. And my Chinese ethnicity is brought up again, as if that mattered. Totally irrelevant. I am deeply disappointed that Forbes continue to write baseless articles, losing their own credibility. There's a real hit piece. It's like the Kevin O'Leary thing, coming for CZ and Binance because he lost money and didn't do the due diligence that potentially should have. We didn't get caught in the FTX spill, but even some credible people that I know who are far savvier traders than myself, they did get caught up in it. I can't help but feel like FTX was a Trojan horse. So to summarize, Binance or CZ is largely disputing all of this, saying that it's inaccurate what they're saying. I happen to side with him. Do I think there might become an issue for Binance down the line because they have this huge target on their back from the institutions and everybody else? I think it's It's likely. I mean, look at what they've done with BUSD. And I'm not against when something factual comes up, making a judgment on it and being truthful and saying, look, we're out of BUSD now because we just don't want the inconvenience. So is there this inconvenience factor with Binance? Maybe we'll see. Again, I still hold some funds on Binance. I do think if you want to practice self-custody or you're worried about Binance, then either practice self-custody or get off Binance. Don't let yourself stay up at night thinking about it. But from what we can see, again, this is just another baseless attack. Trying to discredit CZ, who I think has been nothing but great for the space, and Binance at large. So that's all I've got for you guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one. Just thought it was worth covering for those people out there that are worried about it. Please, I'll leave a link to this description. I'll leave a link to this article and CZ's response in the description. Check it out for yourself. Make your own mind up. Just my opinion on it. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you in the next one.